What's going on, guys? I just wanted to take a minute and talk to you guys about outlets, positive outlets to be exact. I'm not talking about alcohol. I'm not talking about drugs. I'm not talking about stuff like that. For me, a huge outlet is everything that I do for my nonprofit are amazing outlets for me, and they've proven time and time again that they work for other veterans as well. That's why I decided to form Warriors Next Adventure, to go out and help veterans find different positive outlets to help them improve their lives. A lot of the guys from New York, you know, it's cool to see them getting together. And we got a couple of them who unfortunately didn't make it to the top. They're actually talking about going back and trying again, which that would put a huge smile on my face, and I would be so proud of them. So you guys need to go do that. Outlets are very important. Today I had a little issue on the highway. Somebody cut me off, and I got pissed, and I started yelling and screaming and shit, punching my steering wheel. It's inappropriate. There's no reason for me to do that. I'm not a very violent person, but for some reason, when he did that, it just triggered some shit inside me, and I was right back in Afghanistan and Iraq, and I was pissed. And to make things worse, I tried to pass him about a quarter mile down the road, and he did again. He swerved his truck right into me, and he'd look over, and he's laughing, give me the finger. And in my head, I crashed into his car. I pulled him out of that car, and I beat the shit out of him. That's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, it's pretty normal for a lot of people, but I kept driving. I lost him, got home, grabbed my gi, and I headed to Jiu-jitsu, which is where I was heading in the first place. I got to Jiu-jitsu and I sat down in the corner, which I usually do. It's my normal practice. I put my back against the wall, straight up and down, and I sit in the butterfly position, and I start to stretch. So what you're doing right there is you're coming down, and Jiu-jitsu for me is much like meditation. The kids class was going on at the time, and then kids class ended. We went up, started doing our warm-ups. Our warm-ups are about 15 minutes, and they get you sweating. You get breathing pretty hard, and it's pretty good cardio. After cardio, you start drilling, and we did 2 moves today, and you just drilled and drilled and drilled to the point where it's so monotonous, but you see something small every single time you try it again. So you put your arm here, but really you need to turn it to the side, or you need to turn your hips out one way. And it captivates your mind. At the time, you can't think about that dickhead that almost crashed into me. You know, you can't think about Iraq. You can't think about problems you're having with your wife. You can't think about bills. You can't think about any of those things when you're training jiu-jitsu, because the second your mind leaves the mats, you get choked out. Or, you know, you're break an arm or something like that. You know, if you don't focus and be 100% present while you're training jiu-jitsu, it's not going to work for you. But you don't really have a choice, because when you have a 300-pound gorilla on your back trying to choke you out, the only thing you're thinking about is, oh my god, how do I protect my neck? You know, and it's an amazing outlet. I actually used jiu-jitsu to help myself recover after my suicide attempt in 2015. I ended up going from being suicidal to hating my life and going through a divorce to embracing the divorce, because it was good for me and it was good for her. Me and her get along great, by the way. And I ended up going to Brazil and training jiu-jitsu. I came back, I said I want to be a fighter. And I went from being this sad, depressed kid who didn't want to live anymore to training for the next few years. Went through surgery, but I came back, and one fight of the night for one of my fights, I ended up fighting again. And at one time, I was, you know, ranked one of the top 5 MMA fighters for 170-pound amateur welterweights in Minnesota. That's not a success story. I don't know what is, you know. Unfortunately, it led to me getting a TBI last year, and I ended up quitting martial arts altogether. But I came back to jiu-jitsu recently because jiu-jitsu has always been a huge passion of mine, you know, and it was a huge part in me improving the quality of my life and putting PTSD aside and trying to drown out the music a little bit. when you train and you're out on those mats, it's a brotherhood. You have partners that care about you. You have partners who want you to succeed, and you have partners that you can go out and hang out with after a training session. And through jiu-jitsu, I actually found a very comparable brotherhood like I'd had in the military. We bleed together, we sweat together, we train together, we run together. We go to tournaments, we support each other. We lose, we win, and we really care about each other. Finding that brotherhood and that community that veterans long for is so important. So I'm gonna challenge each and every one of you, whatever outlet you use, whether it be something like Operation Wolf Dog, like I've been doing here in Minnesota, jiu-jitsu, painting, writing, something. Don't do it alone. Sometimes it's good, everybody wants their time by themselves, but find a group. Find a group of people who want to do the same things as you. Find a hiking group. Find a piano group. Get together and talk about that. Community is very important to veterans, and seclusion is the #1 path to failure for veterans. Whether you want to admit it or not, some people like to be on their own. That's fine, but community is important, and jiu-jitsu has been an unbelievable community to me. My teammates are always there to support me, and when I came back, I was welcomed with loving arms. So get out there and do something. Don't just sit at home. Don't just wallow in your past. Don't let PTSD kick the shit out of you. Take the power from your past and give it to your future, guys. Love you.